I was a little bit distracted. But I can beat Fandango. He's a punk.
He is a punk. He thinks he's so great out there dancing and moving along. I think my lawnmower dances better than him. He's terrible.
Yeah, he knows not to challenge me for dance-offs because I would destroy him.
You already have. And I think that he should know better than to challenge you in anything, because when you talk professional wrestling, he don't come up to Santino Marella. Maybe he comes up to your knees. That's about it. He's fantastic. He's not fantastic. You're fantastic. So that's where we're going to go with that.
Oh,
so,
you guys are very kind.
Not a problem. You know, Santino, we talked about it earlier in the show. You're a longtime professional wrestling fan. I know that you went on record saying that your father took you to a lot of wrestling matches as a child. And who do you remember seeing growing up inside the wrestling ring that made you want to become a superstar that you are today?
One of my early favorites was Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oh, yeah.
It was surreal to see him in the ring. He was like, super athlete and jacked up in just the hair and the leopard skin and flying through the air. It was amazing. I also loved the Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were awesome because they were a little bit shorter guys, but they were strong and athletic, and I really liked that. Especially Dynamite Kid. He was very, very explosive, like dynamite. I get it now.
He exploded like dynamite. Like dynamite. You know, the British Bulldogs you talk about, they're one of my favorite tag teams of all time. And I like what you said, a little bit smaller in regards to your average professional wrestler back in the day, like Hulk Hogan or Bruno Sammartino or some of the big guys like the Ultimate Warrior, who, by the way, is going to be inducted into the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame this year. But I liked the average size, so to speak, of the Bulldogs. They were faster than hell inside the ring. A great tag team. I remember WrestleMania 2 against the Dream Team, Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine with their manager Johnny Valiant. A great match. It'll be one of my favorites forever, no doubt.
Yeah, the Bulldogs, they used the chemistry of the team to beat their opponents, but they also had explosive power and technique and conditioning, and they were awesome. They were like Bulldogs, because Bulldogs aren't the biggest dogs, in the dog kingdom, but they have the strongest bites.
Yes, indeed. I mean, if there was a Marella dog, I'm sure that'd probably have a pretty strong bite too. I think, because I've seen you inside the ring. I mean, I know how you can go at these opponents, and we love having you on the program today. And in case you're just tuning in to Off the Top Rope Radio, we are listening and talking with Mr. Santino Marella. He's a WWE superstar, one of the greatest guys that we've ever had on the show, and we do welcome him to the program. So let's run down your career a little bit here. We talked about it when we introduced you. Two-time Intercontinental Champion, one-time U.S. Champion, a tag team champion with Vladimir Kozlov, two-time OVW TV champion. That's a lot of titles, and in a short reign in the WWE, that's pretty good. What do you remember from winning your first championship in the WWE?
Well, interesting enough for me, most people have two memories, their debut and their first title. Yep. For me, these two memories are joined together because I had my first title on my debut.
That's right.
So it makes it super memorable, and it was quite historical, to be honest, to come from the audience and to win a title.
Mm-hmm. And there's not many people who could actually say that they won a title in their first ever appearance inside the squared circle, so that's very commendable on what you did. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I think Carlito did as well. But, coming from the audience, that's the first time for sure.
You had some very good matches with Carlito in your day there. I remember that. I always liked the way that you could perform inside the ring by giving the audience members obviously a good chuckle, a good laugh. But when it comes down to good scientific professional wrestling, I know your background in MMA and judo and everything else, that really kind of plays into your arsenal. And to watch you give a hip toss to some of these guys like Fandango the other day, I think his legs hit the ceiling lights Monday night in one of the hip tosses you gave him. Just tremendous. So
I almost lost control of him. I was going to throw him to the ceiling, but no, I definitely like to incorporate judo or MMA into my professional wrestling. But I'd like to think I have a unique combination of technique and entertainment, and a little bit different from other people, and a little more. Because the thing is, when you share laughter with someone for so many years, you feel like you're friends. So maybe they might see some superstars and be starstruck. Right. But when they see me, it's like seeing an old friend because we share so many laughs together.
I've talked to you for 5 minutes here on the radio. I feel like you're an old friend already.
See, that's good. Thank you. That's a compliment to me.
The Italianos, we're good paisans, right? We're good people like that. So I like that. So, along with your titles and everything, too, you also hold another record in the WWE, and I'm sure you're aware of it. Maybe some fans out there may not be, but the record that you hold, you actually beat somebody for it about 20 years prior. Back in 1989 at the Royal Rumble, the Warlord lasted 2 seconds inside the Royal Rumble after being eliminated. Matter of fact, he got inside, lifted up his arm, and then eventually was brought over the top rope and eliminated from the Royal Rumble. In January of 2009, you beat that by 1/10 of a second. 1.9 seconds for Santino Marella in the 2009 Royal Rumble. That must be a very near and dear special moment for you in your wrestling career.
Yeah, it was, at first it was embarrassing because I was ganged up on. What happened was earlier that day I was in catering, and Kane and myself, we reached for the same cookie.
Uh-oh.
And I beat him. I took the cookie. So he was, pissed off to me, and he was waiting for me. So I ran to the Rumble to go jump up, and there he was waiting. So, yes, he eliminated me very quickly, but you know what? It's in the record book, so I'll take that.
Absolutely. It must have been a really good cookie.
It was. It was like peanut butter, miniature, like peanut butter cups in the cookie.
Oh, my God. Hey, Joe, can you run out and get us some of those miniature peanut butter cookie cups, please?
I'm going to get right on that.
Thank you. I would love to have some of those right now. So, no, but that was a very memorable event. If you don't ever have the greatest records in the book, as long as you're known for something like that, it's got to be something you can smile on and look at once in a while. And I'm not sure how many people in interviews ever bring that up to you, but I know that was a pretty funny moment when it happened. And I didn't know anything about the cookie, so that even adds more of a great element to that story. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, he's a sore loser.
He's a very sore loser. We all know about that. We've read stuff about that, but that's funny stuff. Now, Santino, you've had a really great run with championships in the WWE, plus holding that record at the Royal Rumble in 2009, but what some people may not remember and may not appreciate about Santino Marella is that you've had some great luck with the ladies over the years in the WWE. I remember Maria, and I know that you didn't like what she did by posing for the Playboy. That was understandable by what you did. You had to go in there and voice your opinion by saying, hey, I'm the man in this. I'm not going to have my lovely Maria pose in Playboy. You wrecked the set, you wrecked the cover and everything else. I applaud you for your efforts on that. Way to stand up and be a man.
Yeah, it was when she first told me she wanted to do Playboy. I said, is your father still alive? And she said, yes. I said, well, then forget about it because you're going to, embarrass the poor man. But she did not listen to me, and, she probably made some money, probably spent it now. But you know what? The fact that she gave in like that and sold out, that's going to last forever.
Well, they need to listen to the men once in a while in the relationship. I think she should have listened to you, and, she may have still been there today if she would have listened to you. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, listen to reason, not just because I'm a man. I just happen to be a man with reason.
Santino Reason Marella. I like it. I think that should be your new moniker. The reasoning. I like that. Now let's talk about some other ones here because we don't stop there at Maria. You got better and better. Glam Marella. We're going on with Beth Phoenix. I remember it was the Glamazon versus Santino Marella, and then it was like a little bit of a fight inside the ring. You eventually found love with each other. Had Glam Marella as the power couple in the WWE. What was it like being with Beth Phoenix? She was a great talent and beautiful woman.
Beth Phoenix was, she's a fantastic woman, and, we were a very good team for a while, and we had some success. One time we won, it was 2 championships on the line. Mm-hmm. She won the women's title, Divas title, and I won the Intercontinental Championship. So, when you share a victorious experience together, that's, it goes down in the record books, and you'll always have that, memory, and no one can take that from you.
Absolutely. And, I just saw Beth Phoenix at the Cauliflower Alley Club last year when Edge was inducted with the Iron Mike Mazurki Award, and she looked fantastic. As beautiful as always. And the one thing about Beth Phoenix that I can say, and I don't say this about a lot of people, but she is truly a very nice and sincere person, and she really, really seemed to love her fans coming up to her and talking with her. Very nice lady.
Oh, she's by far one of the nicest the nicest diva I've ever met, and just a classy individual. And we miss her all the time. And of course, as a worker, she could, work with anybody, anywhere in the world, anytime. Yep. So she had the trifecta,
Yeah.
good looking, sweet, and she could work.
Oh, and she, like I said, she was beautiful. She could work. She did it all inside the ring, and I do miss seeing her on a weekly basis, that's for sure. And then now we're talking about women here. You hook up with another woman, Miss Emma. I mean, Emma, she loves to fish. She loves to bowl. I bet you she likes to throw the darts at a bar. I mean, she's fantastic. She is like every woman that a man out there who enjoys all those things like football and soccer, maybe for you and everything else. She loves all that, and that's a great woman right there, Santino.
Yes, because some guys, they forget that your woman also has to be your friend, your best friend. You have to do activities together.
Right.
Obviously outside of work and in normal life. So someone like Emma, she likes to do all these fun outdoor things, and that's great. Mm-hmm. I think she's going to be a great friend.
Yeah, and she's a hell of a dancer. You can't go wrong there.
Yes, when she gets to a stomping and pointing the hands, it's back up, look out, because she's known to poke a few eyes. But yes, she's very good.
When she starts doing that move where she does like the kind of walk like an Egyptian type of thing with her hands in her arms, maybe you should give her a couple Cobra socks and put them on there and see how that looks, because that'd be a pretty striking visual there if she could do that.
Striking, no pun intended, I imagine.
You like that?
But yes, she could strike anyone. If she has two Cobras, I can just spin her like a top and watch out. She'll Cobra everybody.
Indeed. We're talking to Santino Marella, WWE superstar, right here on Off the Top Rope Radio with Brian Shank and Joe C. Heard exclusively on KQCK Radio Station, USA, Costa Rica. And we're glad to have you here and spending some time with us and chatting about your career. I know we got a few more minutes based on what we talked about earlier, but I want to kind of go a little bit now into some other things with you. I want to talk about the Battle Arts Academy. I know back in July of last year in Ontario, this is an academy opened up with a partner of yours, and this teaches strength and conditioning, also training for MMA and professional wrestling. It sounds like this is a place where you can go and just really get into shape, learn some discipline, learn the finer arts of MMA and pro wrestling, maybe some judo in there. I know you have an extensive judo background going back to your very, very early years in life, and this sounds like a fantastic place for people to go to and learn from some of the best out there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I trained in Japan in 2004 at the original Battle Arts, and Mr. Yuki Ishikawa was my instructor. Mm-hmm. So when that gym closed down in Japan, immediately I started thinking, this man has to come here. His knowledge, his attention to detail, and his techniques are, unheard of. He's one of the pioneers of MMA. Mm-hmm. The Karl Gotch, Mr. Fujiwara, and Mr. Ishikawa. So immediately I called the immigration lawyer, and we started, planning. We started, planning everything. And I basically constructed what I would consider my dream facility for an MMA fighter. Some of them, they have to go to one place for conditioning, one place for striking, one place for grappling.
Right.
I said, no way, we're going to have everything here. So we have amazing Muay Thai instructors, grappling instructors, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructors, and we have world-class facilities for conditioning. And now our fighters don't have to go anywhere but here. And that's just for our fighters. Then we have kids, and we have women's classes for fitness-based kickboxing.
Wow.
And then there's the pro wrestling, which is a whole other division. These kids are learning so much, so fast. The quality of our performances are incredible. We have our Rising Stars number 3 is this Sunday, actually, and sold out again. The people that it's a hybrid product that we produce, a little bit like MMA influenced, heavily influenced professional wrestling, and the product is the fans love it. They eat it up. They can't wait for the next tickets, the next show. And it's amazing.
That sounds fantastic.
Soon we're going to be broadcast somewhere. Maybe we're going to show it on the internet or something. But this type of product should be seen because it's really, really high quality.
I was just going to say, I hope there's some kind of footage that we can see of this marvelous facility. I would love to see what that looks like. And, I'll tell you something, Santino, if you could throw a bowling alley in there and some bars or something like that, I think you would even have bigger ticket sales.
Well, I'm getting a popcorn machine today. That's I try to do something every week.
I love
it.
But
bowling alley, we have something, but it couldn't be a real bowling ball. But maybe something like knock down some pins or something. But
yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, or bocce ball. I like bocce ball, too. Now I'm just kind of having some fun with you because I thought with Emma coming out there who likes the bowl and fish and everything else, I thought that would bring some of the ladies like her. But I'll tell you what, in all seriousness, that sounds like a fantastic facility that you have there, and I really applaud you for what you do because you also mentioned some kids and the women. It's not just strictly for men because when you hear MMA and pro wrestling and strength and conditioning, I liked how you brought in the other factor of children, kids, women, and everything else because this is all about getting fit, getting strong, getting conditioned to move on in life to a better life, and I think that what you're doing is fantastic, so I applaud you for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have some excellent transformations here. Some people have lost lots of weight. Some people have put on muscle mass. And, some members, they come here, they've quit smoking. They're doing better. So basically, this world-class facility just happens to move in the neighborhood of, one of the biggest suburbs in Toronto. And so these kids, they don't realize it yet, but they will when they grow up, that how fortunate they are to have this place in their backyard. Like, for myself, when I was training, we had to go find the places. Yeah. We packed up our bags and we traveled around to find the coaches. Right. So now the coaches and the facility came to this neighborhood. So if you live here, you are one lucky son of a gun because Battle Arts Academy is in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, is that, you talk about martial arts, and back when I was younger and, 15, 16 years old, I took Shorin-ryu Okinawan-style karate, and I did that to lose weight and to study the arts, and the biggest thing it taught me, Santino, is discipline for your fellow person inside that ring, and also just having that type of attitude that is, I'm studying something here that is many, many years old by those who had enough knowledge to teach somebody else, and I felt very honored by that. And the Okinawan-style Shorin-ryu karate, we really enjoyed ourselves, and it was great.
Yeah, you know what? To be a part of something that is, has a long tradition and history is great. And all you have to do is just apply hard work and discipline. Like the game plan, the format, everything's there for you. All you have to do is show up consistently, work hard, have respect, and benefits are there for the reaping.
Absolutely. I know you got to get moving here pretty soon because I know you probably have other interviews to do today, but we want to say, first of all, thank you for coming on the program. And before we go, I just want to throw a couple things at you. I like to just do this little name game, and if you just want to give me like a sentence or two or whatever, some people even just give one word. It's up to you. I'm just going to name some people in the business, and if you could just go ahead and give me a little reply on that, I'd appreciate that, okay?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it first of all with somebody who just passed away here this week. I know a lot of people in the business knew him and loved him and was very, very fond of him. And from what I understand, he was just a fantastic, gentle big man and a great guy. Mr. Nelson Frazier, who wrestled as Big Daddy V, Viscera, King Mabel. I know you worked with him a little bit inside the WWE and the ECW brand and everything else. What were your thoughts on Nelson Frazier?
He was the epitome of, Big Daddy cool. He was cool. Yeah. He was really, really kind and no ego and never made you feel anything but welcome. And there's not one person can say one thing bad about him. Nobody. If they do, they're idiots because he was a very, very, very well-respected, well-liked man.
That's what I heard. Big family guy and everything else, so that's fantastic. I'll give you a couple more names here. Someone who's going to be inside the 6-man Elimination Chamber match with Sheamus, Cena, Orton, Christian, and Daniel Bryan. Someone who I think is an up-and-coming champion inside this business, and you've worked with him many, many times in the past year or so. Mr. Cesaro. What do you think about Cesaro?
I have a tremendous amount of respect for Cesaro. He's a gentleman. He's a real studies wrestling. He doesn't just train and wrestle. He's a real student of the game, and he can do many different types of wrestling. And his work ethic is unparalleled. He's super strong. He's a gentleman too. The only thing is he's not very flexible. That's the only thing I can say bad about him.
Oh, really? Okay.
If that's even bad.
You mean flexible like with his schedule, or you mean flexible with his body?
Just kidding. His body. He's a piece of steel.
Yeah, he is. He's like an iron, well, we used to say iron shithouse, but the guy is definitely full and just powerful. I was watching him in that match with John Cena on Monday night when he had him in the headlock a few times on the mat and everything else. I mean, just the body and the muscles and just the steel in his skin, it just was popping out. I mean, the guy is tremendous shape, and boy, strong as an ox, and I think a future champion down the road. Don't you, Santino?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you one. Let me give you one more that we talked about briefly here earlier in the interview. Someone who's no longer with the company, but he was a big mainstay, and we talked about him just a little bit earlier. Edge, the man known as Edge. What a great guy he is too.
Edge is a class act. We always get along from day one. He has a great sense of humor. So, from day one we were able to share some laughter, and, he worked really hard, and he really carved a spot for himself by hand. He wasn't given anything. He worked hard for everything he got.
Excellent.
And became one of the most popular characters ever.
Yes.
Very, very recognizable internationally. And also, Edge is someone that if you don't see him for a few months, if you see him, it's always just nothing but good feelings. It's, hey, look, and I like to run into him.
Nice. Yeah, he's a good guy. Okay, 2 more quick things here. I want you just to fill in the blank for me. When I have time off, what I like to do the most is blank.
Well, every single second I have time off, I'm at the dojo. I'm at martial arts.
Nice. I like that. My favorite drink of choice is blank.
Water.
Water. Really?
Nice.
Okay, I like that. And I think more people should take heed to that, because I agree, without water we're pretty much screwed. Okay, here's the last one for you, Santino. No. If I had 5 minutes to sit down with somebody and talk about anything in the world, living or dead, that person would be?
Oh my goodness. Probably some historical figure that had to do with, philosophy and anthropology and stuff like that, and talk about what we can do to really, really get the human race on the same page and identify themselves as one outside of, country, religion, race, and what we could do to make people, for example, you can be a proud American, you can be a proud Canadian, but we have to become proud human beings.
Absolutely. I agree with that. That's a great answer. I think that was probably one of the best answers I ever heard when I asked that question. So, fantastic. Santino Marello, we do appreciate your time today here, and we do thank you for coming on the program. I hope you enjoyed the interview as much as we did, and I hope one of these days, maybe down the road, we can get you back on the show and talk some more about what you've been up to. And we know we have the Elimination Chamber coming up this Sunday, WrestleMania in New Orleans of this year. Many, many pay-per-views. The WWE Network is coming. I mean, there's so many things on the books in the WWE that it's just amazing. It makes my head spin. Listen, I wish you nothing but the best of luck to you, the best of health, and the best of success to you in the WWE and everything else that you do. And that's coming here from Brian Shank from Off the Top Rope Radio and Joe C.
Oh, thank you very much. I definitely look forward to speaking again in the future and catching up.
Sounds great. Hey, be safe out there on the roads, and watch that dojo and watch some of those students out there. I know they're going to be future champions as well. And take good care of yourself, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Santino Marella, right there.
Thank you, Santino.
All right. WWE superstar. That was a great interview because, he's somebody who's inside the ring. Almost every time you see a wrestling show, he's involved. And I really appreciated his time here today. So thank you very much, Santino. Thank you to my buddy Al out there in the WWE for setting it up for us as well. Great interview. Thank you.
And this was certainly a special report and a special interview. We're not going the full hour today because we don't need to, because this is a intermittent show, like a special report. Mm-hmm. Bam, bam, bing, swing. But if there's anything you want to go out in an outward motion here.
Yeah, I want to talk maybe like another 10 minutes or so here because I do have some news that I want to discuss and everything else. Do you have something else you need to do or something like that? Or?
I always have something to do, but go ahead and...
Joe's like, damn it, I wanted to get out.
Go ahead and spurt it out. We're not taking calls today because I do have to run, but...
How about we take one call? If someone wants to call one call.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's give them the info you need, and we'll go from there.
All right, let's do that because Elimination Chamber is this Sunday. This should be a tremendous pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to this. Sheamus, John Cena, Randy Orton, Christian, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan all inside one ring in the Elimination Chamber, 2 miles of steel chain. If you've watched any Elimination Chamber pay-per-views in the past, you'll know just how hard fought and how intense and crazy these type of matches are. I mean, you want to talk about some blood, sweat, and tears. It's all inside the Elimination Chamber each and every year, and this is not going to be any difference this year. And a matter of fact, I want to read an email here from my good buddy Brandon Dack, who goes as Diggity Dack out there on the boards.
Diggity Dack.
Hopefully he's out there. Hey, he's out there right now. Look at that.
He's throwing some chat up right now.
What does he say? He said, I'm one of the biggest fans of Santino Marella and the current WWE character. But yes, I enjoyed the interview, so thank you very much for that. Very much. I do appreciate that. Let me go to his email here that he sent because he has some predictions for the Elimination Chamber. And again, if you want to send something here while we're still on the air, it's Brian, Brian, at KQCK Radio.com. And I want to read what he had to say here. He says, hey, Shank, here's my elimination. He always starts out his emails. Hey, Shank, I love that. It's not like, good afternoon, Brian. Hello, Star. It's, hey, Shank. It's, hey, Shank. I like that. Anytime you see me on the streets or whatever, you refer to me, if you just say, hey, Shank, I like that.
And remember, if you call him Skank, he'll still turn around, but Shank is really his name.
The only one that calls me Skank and gets away with it is King Kong Bundy. And to this day, he still calls me that. How you doing, Skank? I love it. He's got the voice with, like, his voice when he's next to you actually will pierce one eardrum and go out the other one, like in the cartoons, like in Tom and Jerry. It's amazing. I love Chris. He's a great guy. So anyway, hey, Shank, as he says, here's my Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. You know, I should have named my Twitter account Hey Shank. That would have been cool. But it's actually my new Twitter account. I'm doing Twitter now. Is OTTR Radio. Okay? So it's like off the top rope, abbreviated there. OTTR Radio. That's my Twitter account.
Nice.
At OTTR Radio. So if you want to send me a tweet, if you want to talk or whatever, I'm new to this. Bear with me. I never did Twitter before in my life. So this is new for me. And I'd love to hear from you, the wrestling fans. Get on there and make my Twitter account explode.
Tweet it to Shankster.
No, not you call me the Shankster. Yeah, but it's OTTR, like off the top rope. OTTR Radio. That's me at OTTR Radio. So thank you very much. Okay, let's get out with his email here, Dan. All right, hey Shank, as I said before, here's my Elimination pay-per-view predictions for this Sunday live from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The kickoff match, as they advertised on Raw, will be Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. The winners, he believes in this one, will be Cody Rhodes and Goldust. I kind of like that as well. I think that even though they don't have the tag team championships anymore, they're still a very formidable tag team and two great talents inside the ring. They have great chemistry, being brothers that they are and everything, but I love watching them wrestle. Very good chemistry. They work together very well inside the ring, and I think they're going to go ahead and beat Mr. Curtis Axel and Ryback. Okay, the other match here, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil used to be the primetime players. They broke up. Titus O'Neil is on his own right now, and I think that he's doing an excellent job being a singles wrestler, being a fantastic villain. I like his look. I like everything about him. I believe Titus O'Neil will go over in this match, and he also thinks that Titus will as well. The Intercontinental Championship match, which we just talked to Santino Marella, he held that 2 times. The title match is going to be Big E, who is the champion, taking on Jack Swagger, one half of We the People, the great Americans, everything that they are. So, he says what did he say? He says he's going to take Big E. I think Big E is going to win this one as well. I just don't think that he's going to give this up to Jack Swagger, although Jack Swagger is the number one contender.
I'd say Big E's got a pretty good shot at this one.
Big E is big. Let me tell you, he's
very big.
He's a star. Batista and Albert Del Rio. Batista, he calls the winner on this. There's no way in God's green earth that Batista is going to lose this match, especially since he won the Royal Rumble last month and is going to WrestleMania to take on the current champion, which probably will be, in my opinion, which I don't want to spoil anything at the end, but I'm going to go with Randy Orton in the Elimination Chamber. I just don't think it's going to work out any other way. So I think Batista wins this match over ADR, Mr. Alberto Del Rio. WWE Tag Team Championship match, the New Age Outlaws versus the Usos. He thinks the New Age Outlaws will win this. I think this is going to be a fantastic matchup no matter what happens. I love how the Usos have reinvented themselves. They came back as baby faces. They're doing a fantastic job inside the squared circle. I like what they're about. I like their chemistry just as much as I like Goldust and Cody Rhodes. I like that they're faces as well, good guys inside the ring, and I think this will be a good match. But I also agree with you, Diggity Dak, that the New Age Outlaws will probably win this match, being the current tag team champions, that is. He also says, if the Usos win, I will not be surprised because they're definitely future tag team champions, which I also agree. I think the Usos have a bright future for themselves in the WWE. The other match is...
Because the Usos are Uso good?
Uso good.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they should put that into their promo.
I think so. I hope that... I'm going to buy usogood.com real quick.
Okay, do that.
Oh, was that out loud?
Yeah, well, somebody probably already bought it by now. just by you saying it that fast, someone probably bought it. Yeah,
probably.
It's quick in the internet right now. Let's see. The Wyatt family taking on The Shield. He has the Wyatt family winning this match. And, I kind of agree with you in a way, Diggity Dak, because I also think that somewhere down the road, we're going to be seeing... Roman Reigns eventually breaking away from the Shield and being a singles wrestler and probably becoming a big, good guy in the business, a big baby face. I think it's going to probably happen. I do like this matchup. They teased it on Raw. They came down to the ring. They got inside the ring. They went face-to-face. The Wyatt family stepped out, went back to the back. The Shield stayed there, united. There's still some very good psychology in this whole angle because you can see the Shield looks like they're probably going to split up somewhere down the road very soon, but they're also keeping it together as if there's no problems. But then once in a while, you see Reigns interjecting himself and, to Dean Ambrose or whatever, like, what are you doing? Why are you kicking Mark Henry after I already beat him? You're upset because you couldn't beat him last week, blah, 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 blah. I like the way they're going about this. Very well done and very creative. I think it's a good angle so far, and we'll see what happens after this. And the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match will be between Randy Orton, who is the champion, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, Cesaro, Christian, and Sheamus inside the Elimination Chamber. 2 miles of steel chain. This is going to be great. The winner, he calls in this, is going to be John Cena. Well, I think you and I differ in this, but here's what he has to say. But if the WWE champion Randy Orton goes on to win, it won't surprise me. I think that WWE is just kind of working with the fans a little bit. They've got something planned for him down the road, and Cesaro is so over with the fans. Sheamus could win, but he's coming back from an injury. We'll see what happens, but I do like Randy Orton retaining the championship in this match, going on to WrestleMania against Batista, and I think somewhere after Batista and Randy Orton go at it at WrestleMania, you will see some sort of dissension in the ranks. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm looking at. The foreshadowing is there. That's the guru in me of professional wrestling thinking that something may happen down the road with the corporation, with the authority, and there could be some interesting developments out of this whole thing. But you know what? You never know with the WWE, but I will tell you this. This should be one hell of a pay-per-view, and anytime that you have a big steel cage like the Elimination Chamber inside this, it'll be great. So I'm looking forward to that. I just want to say thank you very much for everybody who tuned in. And also, we'll have some more news next week when we do our show live on February 26th. That's Wednesday night. It'll be 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern. And if you live out there in California, it'll be 4 o'clock out there. We're going to be live. We're also going to have brand new interviews. And we'll be talking about the WWE Network. And I'll say this to you right now. If you want to get involved with the WWE Network, go to WWE.com, sign up, get a free week of the WWE Network. It'll be fantastic. I guarantee you, based on what they have to offer, all the former WCW pay-per-views, the WWE pay-per-views, the ECW pay-per-views. Joe, you and I talked about the Legends House with Jimmy Hart and Roddy Piper.
Absolutely.
These guys, it's going to be a funny moment when 5 weeks of them inside the same house with no cell phones or TV or whatever. There's a lot of things that they're going to offer on the WWE Network, and I'd say one thing. If you are a true professional wrestling fan, I'd recommend you going over, signing up for it, watch it for the free week, get involved, and really enjoy something that the WWE can offer now with their full expanded library of various promotions around the world. If you're an old fan, if you're a new fan, go check it out and get involved.
Brian's thinking of doing a little infiltrating and dressing up as a pizza guy.
Yeah.
I told him, there's no way it's going to work, but he's going to give it a shot, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to give it a shot. Like you said, I don't know if it'll happen or not, but I'm going to tell you right now, get involved in this. This is going to be a fantastic event. I love the WWE Network idea. As a big wrestling fan as I am, many CDs and DVDs and old VHS tapes back in the corners and stuff. I pull them out once in a while and pop them in and watch them. It's good stuff, and the WWE Network is going to offer you many things to get involved in the old stuff and in the newer product, catch up something you missed, catch an old pay-per-view that you always wondered about. It's all there. So, anyway, thank you very much to Santino Marella, WWE superstar, for coming on here and joining us on Off the Top Rope Radio today. We really enjoyed that interview with you, sir, and we look forward to talking to you again. Thank you to my buddy Al out there for the WWE who set this up for us. We very much thank you as well. And we look forward to doing some more stuff with these WWE superstars.
Absolutely.
They're great guys. They work hard. They travel. They do. They have other things besides the wrestling world that they're involved in. We learned about the judo, the MMA. It's great. So we're going to sign off for now. Don't forget, we'll be back here next week, Wednesday, February 26th, with all new news, new interviews, and everything to talk about with my buddy Doug McDonald from WrestlingRumors.net. Go on out there and check out his website for all the greatest wrestling news stories and rumors, WrestlingRumors.net. Join me on Facebook, Off the Top Rope Radio. You can check us out there. You can also go to our email, brian@KQCKRadio.com, and our brand new Twitter account, OTTR Radio. That's at OTTR Radio. Please join in some way, shape, or form. We'd love to hear for you. Take care for now. On behalf of Joe C., this is Brian Shank signing off. We're Off the Top Rope Radio right here on KQCK Radio Stations, USA, Costa Rica. Thank you once again, wrestling fans, for listening to today's show. We would love to hear from you away from the airwaves, so we invite you to like our Facebook page at Off the Top Rope Radio. And any emails you want to send, please send them directly to me at Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at KQCKRadio.com. We'll talk to you next week right here on KQCK Radio, USA, Costa Rica.